What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is Candace with the Peace Dealer, bringing you your live predictions for today's Pisces full moon. So thank you guys for being here. It's a little bit like literally being stuck in the current today. I think it's pretty safe to say that with this Neptune energy, things are a little bit fuzzy. So bear with me, especially considering the fact that technically the full moon already hit. But for those of you guys all over the world, we're going to talk about why it hit really, really, really early this morning, in most parts, at least in the States. And you guys have the energy to work today in the next couple of days. Thanks, guys. Hi, everybody in the chart. I don't know about you, but it's like, oh my gosh, all I want to do is sleep. Maybe it's just the water signs, but this full moon, it's like, I didn't want to get out of bed. That's why I'm doing this morning with my bedhead. So thank you guys for being here. Hi, everybody in the chat. It's nice to be back. I'm super excited for this too. Everybody's saying they can't wait to hear what's going on, and I want to take my time and go nice and slow because there's certainly, just a really intense energy that we've been working with all throughout July, all throughout August, and here we are now in September. So I would like to say that things are going to calm down. They are going to calm down now that we've got some planets going into some earth signs, but some of those fire trines are still at work and they're still very intense, and we're still seeing that 29 degrees of Leo play out with some other planets. Just now we had Mars leave and Mercury is still hovering there. So I think that we're still going to be feeling it for the next probably couple of weeks, but I think things are actually going to stabilize. But it's like, did anybody have any weird dreams last night? Is it just me? And I know that Pisces is the ruler of dreams. I know that it rules the 12th house, but it's like, having this Mercury retrograde and having this build up to the full moon in Pisces has been very illuminating, more so on a subconscious, kind of level. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. I keep seeing everybody in the chat. Welcome back. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you guys are in the world, and happy full moon in Pisces. Today is September 6th, 2017. And the full moon in Pisces hit at 12:03 a.m. Pacific time, 3:03 a.m. Eastern time. So we're in it. Remember, with all new moons and full moons, you have a 3-day working period. So you're not too late. You're right on time to set those intentions. And in fact, I'm going to give you guys some crystal and incense and essential oil recommendations to be working with today and tomorrow to help set those intentions and maybe even offset a little bit of what's going on with this Neptune energy. Now, we can work with it in a very positive way. So I don't want anybody to get too freaked out. So as we know, the full moon, it hit this morning and it was at 13 degrees and 53 minutes of Pisces conjunct Neptune. So basically with full moons, we have conclusions, completions, wrapping things up. We are seeing things that are illuminated, but also if there's anything that we need to be aware of or anything that needs to be exposed and then end, it typically happens around a full moon as well. So what is a full moon? It's when we have a sun and a moon opposition. So the moon was in Pisces and the sun is at 13 degrees of Virgo. And so I think of all of the signs, this opposition is particularly interesting to me because Pisces is quite literally everything. It's everything, it's the 12th house. It's where everything lands, everything comes into, and it is some kind of conclusion or some kind of completion versus Virgo, which is, ruled by Mercury, and it's very meticulous and very focused and laser focused and organized, and it's really about the facts and being able to get everything together. And so it's very clear that these two signs speak two totally different languages here. So when we have this opposition, I find it interesting, especially considering Mars just now moved into Virgo. And so over the next couple of weeks, we'll talk about how that's going to play out. For all of you guys who are not as familiar with my videos, you're going to make the most out of it by going ahead and taking a look at your own natal chart. And if you stay tuned to the end, I will be giving predictions for all 12 signs and pulling some cards. So those of you guys who have any planets on or around of this 13 degrees of Pisces in your own natal chart, or maybe it's your birthday yesterday, today, or tomorrow, pay extra close attention because this is going to be a big one for you, especially. If you have not already looked at your natal charts, you can go ahead and check out a birth chart calculator. All you need is the time, the date, and the location of your birth, and you'll be able to pull that information up. So do check that out. So like I said, this is the conclusion, but with all of the water that's going on with this full moon and the Neptune and everything, I think it's a really interesting time because we have the opportunity to kind of put out some of the fires that have been going on back in August. And so I spoke about this a little bit, but I think it's giving us a nice little exhale. This is like that pause or that moment where we're kind of able to decompress and then reflect. When I think about Pisces, I think about reflection. So with the Pisces full moon, it's a great time, especially with the Neptune conjunction, for creativity. You're going to notice that dreams will be more prominent, heightened intuition, and it also deals with spiritual and mental and emotional healing of some kind. So those of you guys will make the most out of today and tomorrow by listening to music. You might want to be writing. You might want to be more creative. You guys can be painting. And I think that's the really easy way to deal with Neptune and use that divine inspirational planet to kind of help us move along with this energy. Now, basically, this is our quiet time. Pisces, has a sense of unknowing about it. So while the sun wants us to get very practical in Virgo, Pisces kind of wants to take a nap, or Pisces wants to be able to sit back and to just kind of be. So if you guys have the opportunity to be doing that today and tomorrow, give yourself the time and space to just be calm and be quiet. And that way you'll be able to make the most out of the messages that we're receiving, because when we get caught up in the hustle and bustle, it's very hard for us to be on the receiving end of this. I'm going back and forth and seeing what you guys are doing. I'll check your comments in just a second. But emotions right now can be very overwhelming. And I think part of the reason why is that it's asking us to pause and consider everything before moving forward. It's hard to believe that it's already September. We're coming into the latter half of 2017, and certainly now is a very good time with Mercury direct, Saturn direct, to be reevaluating and taking a look at the, basically the last third of the year. There's major Neptune energy, not only because you're seeing the moon that's paired up with Neptune, which is basically talking about our unconscious state, our emotional state, and how it needs to be recognized, but also we see that the sun is opposing the moon. And so this certainly impacts us, and it has a very divine feminine energy to it. So I'll give you guys some examples of how you can work with that in just a second. But be present with your emotions today and tomorrow, because I feel like some things are rising to the surface, and some of these things are things that we have compressed, things that we may not even be aware of. I've been talking to some people and noticing that a lot of people have some suppressed feelings, emotions that they have not dealt with that are now starting to come to the surface. And some of us are just, very emotional or very tired, and we don't know why. So certainly feeling that out is going to make the most of your day today and tomorrow. With this major Neptune energy, remember Neptune is about dreams or fogs and illusion. And the lovey-dovey spiritual stuff can be great, but this also can be a time with Neptune and a full moon where people are removing their masks, or we're seeing what is masked. So it's pretty safe to say that we don't know everything right now. We don't know everything. It's going to take a couple of days. We still are in this Neptune retrograde. I believe Neptune doesn't even go direct until the beginning of 2018. So it's safe to say for the next couple of days, we just need to sit in it. It's like you need to sit in the bathtub, basically, literally or figuratively, and feel everything out before making any decisions. And although things may be coming to an end, to some extent for some of us, I think that these may be in a sense of premonitions, intuitive hunches, feelings. We may not see some definitive things like we typically see from other full moons. You're going to have to kind of ease your way into this. So there's that. But certainly watch out for illusions. Watch out for what you want to see versus what is reality. And that's part of the reason why you guys need to have the time and the space to be able to see what's coming. Emotional breakdowns can be a result of repressed emotions, so you guys want to look out for that as well, or past abusive situations, and just an overall feeling of uncertainty. And so certainly this is the light and the dark side of Pisces. We can see the very spiritual fluff stuff, but then we can see all of the other stuff that has to do with where we are potentially still having pain, getting hurt. Remember, Chiron is still doing its dance back and forth in the later degrees of Pisces. And so a lot of us are really experiencing a lot of healing at this time. And overall, I think it's a very nice moon. There's not really a lot of harsh stuff going on with the angles or anything. So I actually really enjoy it. I think maybe part of it's because I've got so many planets in Scorpio, but those of you guys who have a heavy water placement, or even who have a heavy fire placement, I think this is going to be a nice little break. I'm going back and seeing what you guys are saying. Hopefully you're not having too much interference. If you are, I'm sorry. All right, so let's take a look what else is going on here. When I think of Pisces, I think of water, or I think of the ocean. And I think another topic that's worthy of mentioning is what's going on, obviously, with the floods in Texas, the flooding in northern India, the tropical hurricanes that are coming through the Caribbean. This is certainly Neptune's power, and we're seeing it all coming together at the same time, and it's like a perfect storm. And so I think that it's an important topic to discuss, because Pisces is the collective. This is the collective unconscious. And so as we begin to think about ourselves and our own personal healing and what we're going through, it's also very important to pray, hold space, help, any which way we can with these situations, because it is affecting everybody. And while some places of the world might be completely overtaken with water and flooding and horrible storms, I think it's safe to say a lot of us are feeling this on an emotional level. So you see what's going on in our own world and how it's kind of affecting physically and transforming physically. And so this lends energy to the dream energy of Pisces that I was talking about. Yeah, somebody said the West Coast fires. I mean, I live about 5 or 6 miles from those fires, so it's been high adventure over here. But I think that what's important to mention with this Pisces full moon is that where your dreams and where your intentions go is what is beginning to manifest. And so we want to focus on creating our own reality, holding space and helping those who are in need, but also being able to be aware and treating the sleeping life very similarly and as seriously as our waking life, because many, many messages are coming through the subconscious realms right now. We've got lots of angels and guides and ascended beings and any kind of ascended masters, or even our higher self that has the potential to have a streamlined connection for us right now because of Neptune's involvement. So spend time in a state of meditation to really reap the benefits that this moon has to offer. Now that Mercury has stationed direct, literally yesterday, at the same degree as the eclipse, we need a couple of days to adjust and receive the information and process it. So that's why I'm saying don't make any decisions yet. A lot of messages will be coming in all throughout today, all the way through tomorrow. Okay. Mercury will be working its way out of its shadow very soon, so give it a little bit of time. Within about a week or two, we're going to be not really feeling the effects of the stickiness of the Mercury retrograde that we all just survived, which in my opinion was quite a doozy. Like I said, Neptune dissolves, so you may notice that you're drifting off a little bit. You guys might notice that it's hard to focus. I'm usually like very on top of it and very grounded, and I found it yesterday was just impossible. I had to go out yesterday. I had to work an event in Hollywood, and it was just like all I wanted to do was lie around and listen to music and draw, and it was like I was not there. And I'm noticing that a little bit today too. So try to keep yourselves grounded. I'm going to give you guys some crystal recommendations actually really quick. If you're somebody who likes to work with that, or if that's something that you enjoy working with, crystals associated with Pisces would be amethyst, lapis, turquoise, and aquamarine. If you have any of those are really great to be utilizing. in meditation, or to be wearing, or if you're writing, or if you're creating, or you're doing some deep spiritual work today and tomorrow. Some other great crystals that you guys can be using, not associated with Pisces, but certainly still appropriate for this energy, would be selenite, angel aura quartz, or labradorite. I actually have my little labby on today because I feel like everything is just kind of fluid. It's really interesting. I'm not usually this ungrounded. For those of you guys who like to work with essential oils, whether you like to make sprays or in diffusers or something that you like to dilute and put on your skin, my Pisces oil combination would be a couple drops of bergamot, a couple drops of jasmine, and a couple drops of frankincense. And so that stuff's amazing. I like to dilute it in a little bit of almond oil, and just rub it a little bit on my skin and breathe it in. Or you can certainly put it on your temples. Obviously check the dilutions depending on what you want, whether you're putting it in a diffuser or on your skin. You don't want to put it directly on your skin. But yeah, that might actually help you work with that energy. And obviously today's a Wednesday, so not all of us have the luxury of not working. So it can be a little bit hard and find that we're dozing off at work. But when you come home, it's a really good time to just relax. With all Pisces moons, I think another important thing to mention, especially considering Neptune is involved, is you really want to watch out for the drinking. I think some of us might be deciding to check out a little bit early and throw a few back, or certainly even be indulging in recreational drug use. You want to watch out for that. Be careful. There are two sides to everything. So I'm not going to be your guys' mom and tell you what to do and what not to do, but we see a lot more people who are indulging in that around the time of the full moon, especially with Neptune. So one of the ways that you guys can get the energy to counterbalance that is certainly meditation. I think you guys on the lighter side of things might be finding that you're binge watching Netflix, television, movies, feeling very nostalgic. I mean, this is like very Six of Cups energy. So you might be reminiscing on things. Musical trance is certainly something that's going on. And so those of you guys who are creatives or musicians, you might find that this is an excellent time to be writing or to feel inspired. And you might want to start jotting some stuff down. For the rest of us, it's an excellent time to go to the beach, unless you're in an area where there's some terrible weather. In that case, I recommend slipping into a bath. Throw some salt in there, or maybe even your crystals, and that's a really good way to harness the energy. And most of us get the best, ideas in the shower or in the bathtub, so you'd be surprised what may come from that. And don't be afraid to indulge a little bit in your fantasy world. I think that I'm going to give you guys the green light to do that yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And then afterwards, Virgo will be very adamant, between the Sun and Mars being in Virgo, that we start to get our acts together and be a little bit more better grounded. So those are some ideas of how you guys can use this energy. I want to talk a little bit also about Mercury, because Mercury is exactly trining Uranus. Now, now it's stationed direct. Surprise, hooray, it's over. It went direct yesterday. And so Mercury trining Uranus in Aries is about innovation and new creative ideas, especially with this fire trine. It's like a lightning zap. We just immediately get these things that we download. And it's hung around a little bit for the past couple of weeks with the retrograde, and it's making its final pass at 20 today, 29, excuse me, tomorrow. So we'll see in the next couple of days. It's going to leave the 29 degrees of Leo, and then it's getting ready to enter into Virgo. And so for the next few weeks, with Mars in Virgo and now Mercury teaming up, we're going to see some constructive criticism. People are going to be getting real. Certainly some people think that Mercury and Mars and Virgo can be a little nitpicky. So enjoy the time now while you have it, before we kind of buckle down over the next couple of weeks, and we'll see that we'll be organizing and prioritizing things a little bit more seriously. Mars is still trining Uranus in Aries. However, it just entered into Virgo. So today it's at 0 degrees, and we're going to see a more cautious, smoother side with this Mars placement going through Earth. And I think that since it's lending energy to us being more kind of proactive and efficient, it's a time for us to get exact. Now, the only stickiness you're going to see is when we have this other opposition, when Mercury and Mars are going to that's going to be coming in the next actual week or two. Now for Saturn, it is direct already. That happened as of August 25th, and it is pushing forward. So we're keeping an eye on that. And those are the only things that I'm kind of taking a note at. I mean, it's safe to say we are still very much in eclipse energy, guys. Okay. You know, eclipses affect us really about 6 months to a year. And I think it's safe to say this one, or these that we've had in Leo as well as in Aquarius, might affect us a little bit longer, especially us here in the States. So pay attention, because we're still feeling it. We're coming off of it. Within about maybe a month, I think things will get a little bit easier. But having these planets go, you know, retrograde and back and forth over this 29-degree point, Mercury is going to hit that. Venus is coming there soon as well. So we're still reactivating the eclipse, and it's just going to keep coming back and forth over the next month. So watch out for that 29 degrees Leo in your chart. Certainly pay attention to what's going on in the States and our president, Mr. Trump, because it will keep reactivating that eclipse point on his ascendant. All right, so Saturn has already gone direct. I have that. What to watch? Jupiter is on the move. So Jupiter now has also gone direct. It's been direct for a little bit, and it's making its way through Libra, but it's going to be forming a Uranus opposition pretty soon. And so this will be the Uranus opposition, and we've seen this a little bit already after, you know, when it went retrograde, but this opposition is what's been creating some situations with people where we are reactive. I guess, you know, the Uranus is what's unexpected, especially in Aries, and Jupiter in Libra is about how we act as individuals and how it affects our relationships with other people, or how it's affecting the court systems, or how it's affecting the way we rule and regulate things. So between that and the moon is going to be coming up here pretty soon into Aries, and it's going to be crossing Uranus. We may see more protesting. We might see more people who are acting out. We're certainly going to see this play out over the next month or so here in the United States. So I think that we're going to see a little bit of a spike, especially after the 9th, where things are going to be picking up again. And so I want you guys to pay attention for that, because what is so interesting and mind-blowing to me is that these issues that are going on in the world, and especially here in the States, there are things going on that are mirroring what we're dealing with on a personal level. And the more that we find peace with ourselves, and that we are receptive to working together and united, I think that that will create a conscious change in everybody else, and you're going to start seeing things coming together. We also notice that in the midst of what appears to be many dividing forces and some really difficult things that are going on, I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but in some weird, strange way, it's actually uniting everyone. And it's kind of a topsy-turvy, ass-backwards way of doing it, but it's working and it's happening. And so I think that what's beautiful is that we're able to see that although we may have different opinions and different views, we are all the same. We are all going through similar issues, similar topics, similar conflicts, internal and external. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I want you guys to pay attention, especially the next month. Things are going to get really interesting. All right, so that's my spiel. You guys got all of that. I didn't go on for too long today. I'm going to pull some cards for you guys and give you some predictions for your personal horoscopes. You want to listen for your ascendant, your moon, and your sun sign, guys. And today I figured, in the spirit of the Pisces full moon, why not work with the Star Child deck? It's so dreamy. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's take a look at what's going to be happening with you guys and give you guys some predictions here. Excuse me. I'm going to be starting with Aries as usual. Okay, my number ones. And for you guys, this is your 12th house. So, all right, Aries, let's see what's going on. Let's shuffle the deck. Because, you know, it's interesting watching, you know, Uranus transit either your ascendant, your moon, your sun, your first house. Meanwhile, while you're flying your freak flag, you're seeing that Neptune is aspecting your 12th house. And so perhaps maybe a lot of what's going on with the deep subconscious work and the conclusions and the clearing out. I mean, you've had some eclipses there for the past couple of years. Now they're done. You have a better understanding spiritually with where you're going and what's happening. So let's take a look and see what we have for Aries. All right. So the card that I pull is the Chariot. How beautiful is that card? So beautiful. So what's interesting is that I associate that card still pretty heavily with Cancer, with the moon, with the completion, with where you're going. I think that I've made jokes and I've talked about when we have Pisces transits or we have Neptune's transits, especially in the 12th house, it can kind of be like driving with the brakes on. But especially for you guys, as you begin to see that you've got movement going on into your 6th house, it's certainly really difficult to kind of balance things. And so I think that with the Chariot, at least in the traditional version of the Chariot, you see the 2 different horses, the black horse and the white horse, and they're going, they're going forward or they're going in different directions. Unless you can grab the reins and really get everything really clear and have a solid direction with where you're going and what you're doing, it's really hard to control the actual Chariot itself. And so I feel like for you guys, it's about taking a step back, obviously with the 12th house and letting things be. I think that some of you guys might actually be doing some kind of karmic cleanup, past life cleanup, past life regression work, healing work, to be able to make it possible for you guys to move forward, especially with that 6th house opposition. You may be trying to figure out what's going on a health basis or what's going on with your habits or how you can be more effective. And you might find that meditation, regression, hypnosis, all of these things are actually going to help you get a better grasp on where you're going. Pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to what's going on there, because subconsciously you're receiving a lot of information and a lot of downloads. So with that being said, make sure you get your horses in line and hopefully you guys make the most of this full moon. That's certainly a really lovely place to have it. All right. So now we're going to move on to my Tauruses. Let's take a look here, Taurus. This is your 11th house. I certainly get the impression that, for you guys, this can be a really amazing time to be doing group work, to be giving back, to be working with your community. Perhaps some of you guys are also finding that you're in social environments that are very conducive to your spiritual development or music or the arts itself. Okay. I also get the impression for Taurus, a lot of what's going on right now is that you're being heavily influenced creatively with this. Now, this is still really good. I'm going to get to Scorpio later, but I think Taurus and Scorpio have some good prospects in terms of the romance department with this one, because I think that there is an opportunity for you to either find a connection, and it doesn't necessarily need to be romantic. It can be platonic, but I get the impression that this is leading you to people who are inspiring you, okay, and inspiring you creatively, spiritually, so on and so forth. But certainly there's opportunities to be meeting people and socializing with people who are doing that. The card that I get for you guys is the 9 of Crystals, okay, or the 9 of Coins. This is amazing because I see this as going off and enjoying and spending time in your own space. And I think that that's a lot of what this is about as well. So some of you guys may be finding that instead of going out and doing your partying, you may be opting to go and participate in group work or be giving back and spending time with special people who really warm your heart and give you some sense of connectedness to some kind of whole or some kind of group, because I feel like Taurus needs a lot of support right now. Maybe that partially comes from a personal level. I have quite a few in my life that I'm noticing the strength is coming from their social circles. And so pay attention to that and really look out for that, and certainly make the most of what's going on with the full moon with your friends. As for Gemini, this is your guys' 10th house. How's it going, my Geminis? How are you guys doing with this? Mercury retrogrades over. Certainly you and Virgos sometimes have a little bit of a spastic time when this happens, and so I hope you guys are hanging in there. But for the Geminis, this is your 10th house, your house of career. I have spoken to quite a few who are finally really taking the move and making some changes on the career front. Geminis, don't let the Saturn opposition get you down, okay? Remember that if things are coming to an end or if things are changing, maybe perhaps you're completing a project, you're finishing something up, you are wrapping up a book, you're wrapping up a program, you're wrapping up a demonstration, moving on to a new position. This is the energy, and And it's also there because of the eclipses. So don't get too thrown off by this energy. It's not gnarly. It's not a definite ending. But I think that some of you guys are starting to see the writing on the wall if it's on to bigger and better things. So the card that I get for you guys is Temperance. Okay. And what I love about Temperance, look at that, guys. Look at that with the cups and the snake and everything. So beautiful. With Temperance, somebody's saying that they just graduated. Congratulations. So you're moving into a new career space. But with Temperance, it's having to take everything and put it together and mix it. And it's kind of like a crock pot in a way. I know that sounds lame, but I'm Midwestern, so give me a break. But you have to add all of the ingredients, and you have to do it at the proper time, and you have to let it sit, and you have to let it cook down until it's the right time. Many of you may not be necessarily leaving a job. I think this is more so about you really finding your time and your place at work and looking around and being like, I think I'm outgrowing this, or I'm starting to see that it's perhaps time for you to be moving on and finding something bigger and better. Some of you guys may be graduating, or some of you guys actually might be completing projects in your own personal field. You might have a boss leaving, all kinds of stuff. But Temperance is certainly saying, wait, be patient, see what's going on first before you make any moves, okay? All right, so let's move on here. Now we've got Cancer, and this is your 9th house. So your connection to everything upstairs, your higher self, higher education, spiritually speaking, and foreign travel. So to be having a full moon there in Pisces, I think some of you guys are perhaps wrapping up travel plans. I also can see that you guys really need to make sure you have all the details worked out, okay? It's very important for you to have the details worked out because Mercury just went direct with this 3rd house opposition. Virgo's going to say, check everything twice. Make sure you're getting the best price. Make sure that there's no issues with where you perhaps may be traveling or signing documents and paperwork and getting things organized to be going back to school now here in the fall. It's all the details in the organization that comes together with that. So for you guys, I'm not really seeing anything too heavily aspecting. In fact, I think that the Pisces full moon is really good for all of the water signs because you will be seeing some nice aspects to personal planets that you have, be that your ascendant, your moon, or your sun. So pay attention to that, Cancer. I also feel like you guys might be doing some research of some kind. And part of this is perhaps because there's the pressure that's going on with your sun to really get out there and perform and be putting stuff out there for your career and making some moves. And so I've seen quite a few Cancers that are traveling right now, traveling for new projects or perhaps even for work. So that's another way that this could play out for you this month. All right. So the card that I get for you guys is the Magician. Lots of majors. Hello. So the Magician card, this is the seed that's being planted. This is the idea. So if you're thinking about, okay, I'm done with this, I want to go there, or I want to complete this, or I want to be able to research this, this is kind of this is kind of the way that the energy is playing out. I also feel like the Magician is very as above, so below. So certainly Cancer, like other water signs, are highly intuitive and have the ability to really utilize their manifestation abilities for thinking and processing and manifesting and then bringing it and pulling it down and making it real. So if you're in the beginning stages of, man, I really want to go here, or I really want to go and take a class for that, this is the very beginning. And what's interesting is usually full moons are about a conclusion. And so this actually might be highlighting that you really need to look into this further, or that this may be something that is going to benefit you. All right, so now let's move into Leo. And so Leo, for you guys, this is your 8th house. Certainly an interesting place to have a full moon conjunct Neptune. I could certainly see a lot of karmic stuff going on for Leos with this, a lot of really having to cut through the dream space. I've talked about this before, but it's like Leos have been shook. They're realizing that there are things going on far beyond their control, and that there is a higher power or energy or being that is certainly divinely intervening with their life and creating some changes. And so the 8th house can be a little difficult in navigating, but I actually like this because the opposition is in the 2nd. And, you know, you've been seeing that there are lots of placements that are going on that's allowing you to feel like You can lean on other people more. Perhaps, certainly with the full moon in the 8th house, I could see that there could be some confusion and going on with paying up any debt. So you want to make sure double and triple check bills have been paid this month, Leo and Leo rising. It's important for you to make sure there is no malfunction, especially with the retrograde. Make sure all your regular bills went through. Be cautious before making any lending plans. Perhaps maybe if you are about to merge with somebody, things become very clear, and suddenly, over the next couple of days, you might reevaluate and decide whether or not this is a good partner for you. On the lighter side of this transit, for the 8th house, somebody said sex life is confusing. I think that sex for Leo and Leo risings can be great right now. I think it's really awesome as long as you're able to tune in to a partner who is a vibrational match, and you really want to watch out and make sure that you've got somebody who's on your level, but also somebody who's leveling with you and being direct with you. And so if you've got a partner where the lines are blurred, Leo, or it's a hookup scenario, or you guys haven't had these conversations, the next couple of days could really show you where you stand with this person. So don't push the river, allow it to unfold as it may, and let's see what the cards have to say for you. Okay, so the card that I got is, the Star card, which is interesting because this is about Aquarius as well. It's not just about healing and imagination and dreams, but this is about what we manifest and what we think about. And remember, the Star card comes after the Tower. So some Leos are still coming off of this really interesting, really intense past month where they feel like perhaps maybe the world is coming crashing down, and they've had to make some really life-changing decisions and had to kind of, make a choice and make a decision on a dime. Know that the clouds are parting, the sun's going to be coming out. You're going to have some kind of clarity as to why these things have ended, or why things have ended. I think that maybe perhaps some people might suggest that you really want to make sure that a friend is doing well, or that a partner is doing well, with an 8th house full moon with Neptune. But I really feel like this is more about how you're intuitively and spiritually connecting to people, be that on a financial or on a sexual way, and know that the intentions that you set are really going to do you really well, and it's coming from all of the changes in the past month. And so maybe everything's beginning to settle, and now you have the opportunity to really see the bigger picture and start manifesting where it is that you want to go. But certainly the Star is also very much sexual healing. Don't make me sing the song. I'll do it. All right. Let's get into Virgo. Virgo. Guys, things are interesting for you, Virgos, because number one, here comes Mars moving into your 1st house, or around your sun or around your moon. So certainly there is an internal or an external reaction or actions. And then we've got this opposition where the full moon is in your 7th house. Like I have said, this is a very lovely, uniting, smooth, pretty, sensual full moon. This isn't a nasty one. So for Virgos, I think you're going to find very pleasant, pleasing energy with partnerships and relationships, as a sense of, I'm not going to sing the song. Stop it. I'm tone deaf. You guys don't want to hear that. But I think it's going to be really good for Virgos because it's bringing you closer. Vine's dead. It's bringing you closer to your partner. And those of you guys who are not partnered, it's still good because it's bringing you the energy of wanting to be around other people, wanting to connect with other people. We've got Mercury and Mars making its way into Virgo. And so I think maybe you guys are going to carry yourselves a little differently. I mean, this is the first time you've gotten Mars in some time. So make the use of it. And I think that Virgos are going to be a little bit more assertive. So you might be finding that if you want the partner, if you want the relationship, if you want to take things to the next step, your partner will be with you on this. I do think that it is a positive full moon for uniting you guys. So let's see what's going on here. All right. I like to see what the Virgos are saying. Virgos are feeling themselves. Okay, and the card that I get is the Sun. So certainly, I mean, amazing, because this is a Sun-Moon opposition. So it's bringing you back to, okay, where is the sun? Where is your happiness? What makes you happy, Virgo? What makes you happy? Where are you going to be more willing to chase the happiness, chase the dreams, chase the partnerships, and actually make it happen? And so it's interesting because I know several Virgos on a really close basis, and what I'm finding is that Virgo is certainly getting their groove back, and really starting to feel a little bit more open. I think that it's been amazing seeing Jupiter go through their second house and watching them see how much they value relationships and how important relationships are, and that two is better than one, and getting outside of your comfort zone sometimes looks good on you. So way to go, Virgo. I'm happy to see that for you guys. Somebody just asked about, what about Mars in Virgo? Mars just entered Virgo today, actually. And so now it's going to be making us, I think, get a little bit more particular, a little bit better organized, a little bit more examining the facts, wanting to be efficient, wanting to get things done efficiently. And so if you watch the video a little bit earlier, if you guys go back, you'll hear me talk a little bit about that and how it's going to be affecting with Mercury as well. So, all right, so on to Libra. Libra, this is your 6th house. Oh my goodness. How many Libras are finding it, or Libra risings are finding it hard to pay attention with their daily routine? I was talking about this about yesterday. It was like I was out of it. There was nothing going on. I was like zoned out, spending a lot of time out of my body. A really good way for Libra and Libra risings to be dealing with this energy is meditation, is having your quiet time, is having your time to sit and be receptive. Because if we're getting in cars and we're not grounded, if we're not watching where we're going, if we're not paying attention, it can be difficult for us to be living life in a healthy manner. Let's put it that way. We're a little bit more accident prone. So pay attention for that. I think the other thing is certainly full moon conjunct Neptune in the 6th house. Some of you guys are making some changes with your health routine, making some changes with your liquids, wanting to hydrate more, wanting to drink less, or vice versa. Some of you guys are taking a look at where you can be a little self-sabotaging in your routine with your health and your fitness. I really recommend a lot of you guys taking a look at taking time to rest. I see a lot of you guys are saying you're really exhausted, you're really tired. I think that you guys might want to find a way to incorporate water into your daily routine, maybe go swimming. That's going to help you, or doing some water therapy. But certainly meditation, somebody just asked, meditation will really help make that time. Remember, the 6th house is our daily routines. It's going to the store, it's walking the dog, it's going to the grocery, folding our laundry. And if you're finding that you're spacing out, it's really hard for us to pay attention. So work with the Virgo energy. Virgo wants us to be more particular. And in this case, it's your 12th house opposition of spiritual stuff and of endings. And so certainly Libra rising, are more health conscious. Yes, love it. Thank you, Gabrielle. But also we're finding that we need to create time in a schedule to work spirituality into our daily routine. So for Libra, let's take a look and see what you guys get. Oh, how funny. Ace of Cups. Okay, so I see this as being number one. This is about, obviously, people say this is about love, but I think that maybe that's an important balance to be having as well for Libras and Libra risings. We're seeing, Uranus at latter degrees of our 7th house, and so we learned a lot about relationships, but maybe perhaps we need to have our cup full in order to really feel that we're living life, and we need to have love, or we need to have meditation, or we need to have fun, or we need to have drinks as a part of our social routine to be able to enjoy what we're doing. I think it's safe to say that maybe a lot of Libra and Libra risings are going to be really indulging yesterday, today, and tomorrow. But the Ace of Cups is also your intuitiveness. So pay attention to your intuition and your ability to utilize that intuition. And in order to do that, you got to keep everything clean. You got to keep everything smooth running, and there's no way that I can't talk myself out of this. Ace of Cups is love. So certainly love and imagination and intuition is going to be a part of this full moon for Libra and Libra rising. So somebody just said, I dumped my boyfriend for the last full moon. Well, hopefully this brings you somebody new. So hi, everybody who's just joining in. We are now moving on to my Scorpios. Scorpio, I really like this full moon for you because you've got a lot of action in your 5th house. You've got this opposition in your 11th house. Perhaps maybe, you guys are funny. Perhaps maybe now is the time to get really creative. Now is the time to get really romantic. Now is the time to be focusing on what your heart needs and what your heart wants. Okay, you've got Jupiter hanging out in your 12th house. You've got this nice, you know, trine that's going on to some extent with your ascendant, moon, or sun. 5th house is about children. It's about romance. It's about creativity. It's about the act of flirting. It's getting to know people. So what's interesting is, you know, let's see what happens, what's going on for you guys. I know that you're still waiting. I mean, we're a month away from Jupiter moving into Scorpio. And so I think some of you guys are really starting to rev up and get prepared. Somebody said, now is the time to really get pregnant. That is true. And you are creepy. Who was that? Darian? Because I literally just pulled the Empress. Okay, so 5th house, full moon, Neptune, pregnancy. Don't throw a couple back and not be careful, guys, because it might just happen. Unless you're trying to. In that case, have fun. But remember, a pregnancy isn't necessarily just a pregnancy that's a physical pregnancy. You can be giving birth to a project, giving birth to a new creative project. You could be putting something together, putting a group together, you know, making art, things like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a physical pregnancy, but you know what, just to be safe, let's pull another one. I'm a Scorpio. Y'all are making me nervous because I don't need a mini me running around here. All right, so this is what I got, the Wheel of Fortune. So certainly fate is playing a role with how we end up utilizing this energy for Scorpio in the 5th. Whatever happens is more so kind of correlated with fate, so pay attention to that. But I don't necessarily think it has to be a physical pregnancy. But those of you guys who are Scorpio rising, it would make sense because you've got Jupiter that's getting ready to aspect in some way your ascendant. So pay attention for that. Make way for new projects. Be open to that. Be open to really feeling the divine feminine and being open to partnering with somebody who honors that. That's a lot of what that card is about as well. So some of you guys talking about starting a new business, talking about babies, things like that, certainly look into dream interpretation and see what's going on. But some of you guys are saying, I hope not. I'm on that list. All right, so Sagittarius, this is your 4th house. And so this is your house and home. Lots of things are coming to endings in this realm, and not endings, but it's like Sagittarius are really getting into their stride now that Saturn's direct. This is a latter part of the year, so you guys are almost done with Saturn and you're really cooking with gas. I actually feel like it's very possible that it's very hard for them to be completing projects at home right now because there's so much that's going on and going to be going on in your 10th house. A lot of you guys have been working really hard, and the truth is with Mars, if it is going to your 10th house, is just going to work you even harder. So it can be more difficult to be in tune with the home. I think it's important for you guys to get as much done now as you can. So that way, if you're not going to be home, you're not going to get swamped with all those issues. Now is a really good time to be communicating that all out with people and explaining to people who you're sharing a space with, partners or even children, that you need help because you're not going to be as active in the home. So get that stuff done now. I'm not really seeing anything else more than that. I think the big thing is now we've got Mercury that's moving into your 11th house. And so perhaps also you're going to have to somehow interact with other people and bring networking in. So like I said, I mean, I still see a busy couple of weeks, if not a month or two for Sag. You guys aren't quite done yet. And especially those Sag risings, communicate with those at home, wrap up any projects you need to at home if at all necessary, especially now that Mercury has gone direct. So let's take a look and see what comes up for you guys for your prediction. The card that I get is the 7 of Coins. 7 of Coins. I think that's pretty safe to say. It's pretty similar to what I was saying. It's, you know, making sure you're getting everything done. I see the 7 of Coins also is, am I wasting my time or am I not wasting my time? Am I being efficient? And certainly this Virgo energy is going to help you do that. But make sure you're doing things ahead of time. I look at the 7 of coins as sowing the seeds and setting everything up so that way the crops can come in. So be proactive about projects around the house, but certainly working, a lot of working for you guys this month, and make sure that you're putting your time in places where you're going to see results. Don't be spreading yourselves too thin. Try to focus more on particular projects that you know are actually going to be going somewhere. Okay. All right, Capricorn, this is your 3rd house. I like this 3rd, 9th opposition for you because I feel like you have an opportunity to get very clear and very creative and have an opportunity to express yourself in a different way. I know you guys are going through a lot with these T-squares, like the other cardinal signs. I know that Pluto's hanging out there, and Jupiter is also has been putting the pressure in some areas of your chart. But I actually think that Neptune conjunct there is giving you the opportunity to be more creative with how you express yourself. Some of you guys also may be choosing to take a little bit of off time. Those of you guys who have just recently come back from a vacation or are just now taking a little bit of time off during this most recent holiday weekend. It's about reflecting on how you communicate with the world. So things are actually going to get a little bit easier for you guys. I guess it's important to really pay attention to how you come across to other people, certainly because here comes Saturn for your sun, moon, or ascendant. And so the best advice I can give you, being somebody who's got a ton of planets in Scorpio, and I went through Saturn and Scorpio a couple of years ago, Saturn always rewards you if you're prepared. So Capricorn, wake up, okay? There is a reason why all of these things around you might feel sticky, or a reason why everything has been more difficult to deal with. And it's just showing you all of the elements that are giving you the signs of the things that need to be changed. And so I see the 3rd house is not only how we write, speak, and communicate, but also how we think, the information that we receive, all of the details. Pay attention to the details, Capricorn. Start doing the work now and get prepared, because I think you'll do very well with Saturn and Capricorn, but I also think that a lot of it is about the words that come out of your mouth. So, and listen, I'm Cap heavy. I've got 4 planets conjunct. So I'm a Scorpiocorn. We have to make sure that we're not being pessimistic. We have to leave room for divine intervention, creativity, guides, spirituality. We've got it. You guys can do it. But the key here is to realize that it starts with your thoughts, because your thoughts become words, your words become actions. And so this is wrapping up anything that does not fall into alignment with that flow chart for you this month, Capricorn, okay? Let's take a look. Here we've got the 9 of Cups. Hi, this is a great card. This is literally, I see this as, this is the wish card. This is the wish card. So where your mind goes is what flows. Whatever you're wanting, whatever you're wishing for, if there's something that you want, if there's something that you need, Capricorn, please ask for it. Start laying out the groundwork, make plans. 9 of Cups is going to help you achieve what you want. So this is amazing. This is amazing for Capricorn. This is the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's showing you that you can get what you want. You just got to ask for it. So thank God. I agree. All right, so let's move on to Aquarius. How are you guys doing after the eclipse? You're alive? You alive out there? Just making sure. So Aquarius, this is your 2nd house, the house of income, anything that you would value, anything that would be important to you. And certainly with Neptune there, it's really safe to say that I think maybe areas where you were putting money into, things that maybe perhaps you felt were very important, or perhaps making an investment into something or making a purchase may not be completely clear. So you want to make sure that you are really paying attention and analyzing all of the details prior to making any choices. So that's important. I think also with the opposition, now that you've got Mercury and Mars that are heading into your 8th house, you really want to make sure that you can also afford the things that you're purchasing, and make sure that it's really in alignment with what you want and what you need. You're also going to be seeing that as we have Neptune in the 2nd house with that opposition to Mars, and Mercury pretty soon. That's certainly also talking a lot about your partners and how your partners benefit you. And when you have that opposition, it's, well, I know what I need, but what do I have? Or what am I going to be working on? So pay attention to that. Here we go now here with your card. And wow, I get it again, the Wheel of Fortune. There's actually two cards that I pulled. So the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Swords. Oh my goodness. So if something necessarily does not come through, if a purchase does not come through, if something seems too good to be true, if you're idealizing making a purchase or idealizing getting something and you think something's going to come through and it falls through, Three of Swords, it's okay. Know that there may be a better option that's coming, a more affordable option that's coming, a better time for you to be spending that money. Remember, everything in Virgo that's going to be moving through your 8th house is going to give you all the details, and also that's research. And so that's a really weird combo. A lot of people are saying 3 cards all day, progressive cards. Okay, so I'm not crazy about that, but I'm honest. I'm not going to give you guys the bullshit fluff. I think that whenever I see a full moon conjunct Neptune in the 2nd house, I'm like, make sure you get your facts straight, because you know, you might be missing the APR or all the fine details and all of that stuff. And remember also, you know, Mercury is still in the shadow period, so give it a week or 2 before you guys do anything. So take a look at that. And here we go with Pisces. Last but not least, my little fishes. How's it feel, Pisces? This is a really interesting full moon for you guys because it's magical. It's super magical. I think you're starting to see that, like, dreams are coming together. Dreams are coming together. You're manifesting things, but you're also working really heavily in the astral realm. So pay attention to that. I like the fact that you guys are also having these oppositions that's going on very, very heavily in your 1st house, but in your 7th house. So we've got partners, when we talked about Virgo, partners who are being a little bit more proactive. Certainly somebody said feeling very alert. Yeah, but it's like, even right now, I'm doing it again. I'm going in and out. I'm dazing. Maybe it's because I've been talking to you guys for so long. But the 1st house is how you guys are evolving in your vision and what you're seeing. And I think that it's important for you guys to bring your energy down and to ground, because I keep seeing over and over and over again that if something is not clear, you can't be bum rushed by all of this energy that's going through your 7th house. You can't be pushed by people who are going through your 7th house. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but I feel like this might be a time when you're leaning more on partners and you're allowing partners to take the lead a little bit and help you with things a little bit. They might be adamant about wanting to go and do things. And I think that Pisces are just like kind of really taking their time and taking a step back. Pisces, go to the water, spend time in the water, set your intentions, really work with that. Be very conscious and aware of what's coming through. Certainly those of you guys also who are working in creative fields, you really want to pay attention, because now that you're coming off of these eclipses and you're finding that you have the time and the ability to really pay attention to what you're manifesting and pay attention to what you're working on. You're not settling for less anymore. Now you're really kind of moving forward. And a lot of people are saying they're very emotional. Everybody is very emotional in different ways today, but it's safe to say that Pisces especially. But what I love and what I've been seeing about Pisces the past 2 days is that Pisces are really loving this energy. Neptune is your ruling planet. So be in it, be under, you know, be under the moon, go to the water, spend time, take a bath, set your intentions, do magic. Pisces, don't act like you're not doing magic. Okay, don't act like you're not setting intentions. Don't act like you guys aren't doing some weird, freaky fish stuff where you can just make things manifest, because you guys are like super magicians. Okay, so let's see what's going on with that. Lean on the partners, let them do their thing, and yeah, certainly magic. Magic comes up for you guys a lot. Okay, cool. So here we go. Here's your guys' card, and it is, why are they're all sticking together. Okay, the 8 of Crystals. Work. Okay. Interesting card, but I still see that as it being a situation where it's like anything that you want to get done, two is better than one. You're perfecting things. You're getting things wrapped up. You're getting things finished. Certainly, if this is a full moon somewhere near your sun, depending on your planetary placement in the housing system, you could be wrapping up a job, wrapping up a position, starting something new, working on a new project. I think it's really good because you guys are finding that you're also preparing, like the other water signs, to really benefit from Jupiter moving into Scorpio and perfecting and working on something. I know a lot of Pisces personally who are getting ready to come out with albums, writing books, making music. So pay attention if you've got anything. Yeah, somebody said, Ashley said starting a business. So these full moons, your own personal full moon is a really amazing time of personal accumulation and cultivation right now. So that looks good. I'm like here, but I'm not here, but I'm here, but I'm not here. I'm like kind of in my body. I might go take a nap. But as always, I enjoy being able to chat with you guys and wrap with you guys about what's going on with the stars and the planets above. Take a look out for what's going to be coming up in the next week or two. I typically always do a video for a new and a full moon. You guys have anything else you want me to chat about? I read the comments. I love that you guys have all checked in with me midday on hump day to get your insights about the Pisces full moon. So thank you as always. If you would like, please leave a comment, a like, or even a share because I said I do read them and I do appreciate any words of advice or wisdom or anything. I especially think it's funny when even it's not so nice stuff, but that's okay. And if you want a personal reading with me, you may do so by taking a look at the Peace Dealer website. If you go and take a look at all of the particular readers section, you can read my bio. I'm a Western astrologer, a tarot reader, and a psychic medium. Until next time, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Sorry, guys, it was difficult. I do see you, Pat. I see you. Don't worry. I see everybody. It's just hard for me to go back and forth. But like I said, guys, you know, set those intentions tonight, work with the energy, work with the full moon. Thank you guys all for being here. And one last card before I send you on your way. May your guys' cups run over with lots of love and lots of Pisces energy. So enjoy that full moon. Be safe. And until next time, I will talk to all of you guys very soon. Thanks.